Okay, all you pilgrims on the Ascension journey. Yeah. Hey, let's get into this real fast because this is another kind of long one. So I just want to get into this. Travis Carper, Ascension Health Coach. I'm going to read today from Alchemical Wizard 25, Microplastics and Phthalates, and how we can live with less. So, the plastics, the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, in the air, even out of your carpet, out of the paint in your walls, out of, all these toxicities that we live with and how they affect our, overall avatar, our biofield physiology, or, how they affect on a cellular level and stuff. And they can change the epigenetics too. So, these factors, right? Because we're living with a lot of petroleum, a lot of polymers. Your toothbrush is a polymer. I know I've talked about this before. I mean, probably some of my clothes, I'm sure, acrylic clothing and the rubber on my shoes and, So we live with a lot. So this is just a list of how to live with a little less. These are probably things that you might know, but there might be a little piece of information that you might dig or might hit home with you, inspire you to do your own research, of course, right? I always talk about that because, and even if there's a lot of people talking about some of the same things and you've ran across it, every once in a while, like somebody else has another piece. They're talking about the same thing, but they'll have just enough little piece of the puzzle to add to your cognition. Okay, let's read from this because otherwise I'm gonna, go off. Alchemical Wizard 25, Microplastics and Phthalates and how we can live with less. Bottled water sampled from manufacturers around the world is teeming with microplastics, small plastic particles that are often too small to see. Also, growing evidence links phthalates, that are the chemicals used to soften and form plastics, to a wide variety of adverse conditions, including hormone disruption, insulin resistance, and reproductive dysfunction. Yeah, man. Let's talk a little bit about phthalates or phthalate esters. Phthalates are used in a large variety of products, from coatings of pharmaceutical pills and nutritional supplements, read the labels, I say that in here, to viscosity control agents, gelling agents, film formers, stabilizers, lubricants, binders, emulsifying agents, and suspending agents. End applications include adhesives and glues, building materials, personal care products, medical devices, detergents and packaging, children's toys, we're going to talk a little bit about that, okay? Modeling clay, waxes, paints, printing inks and coatings, pharmaceuticals, food products, and textiles. Phthalates are also frequently used in soft plastic, fishing lures, caulk, paint pigments, and sex toys made of so-called jelly rubber, okay? Phthalates are sorry. Phthalates are used in a variety of household applications such as shower curtains, vinyl upholstery adhesives, floor tiles, food containers and wrappers, and cleaning materials. Personal care items containing phthalates include perfume, eyeshadow, moisturizer, nail polish, liquid soap, and hairspray. Phthalates disrupt our endocrine system, and we just talked about how important that connection to our overall biofield physiological health is. We just did a whole endocrine system connection. So all these other toxins out there, the phthalates, okay? They're in a lot of things. Buying bottled water is not cool. I know everybody's switching over and they're buying the BPA-free, whatever bottles, or the tin or the aluminum canteens and reusing them. In fact, I say that in here. We're moving on. Okay, now a little bit about microplastics, right? The whole microplastics floating around I mean, you've seen pictures of that, right? Beaches just full of plastic bottles and plastic toys. Anyways, microplastics measure under 0.2 inches, 5 millimeters in length, which is about the size of a sesame seed or smaller. And they originate from many sources such as microbeads that are commonly found in health and beauty products, according to NOAA, NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. Tests of two, and NOAA is a good reference too. They have an actual space weather enthusiast dashboard, and you can go directly to that link and try to find sometimes a lot of those observatories, of course, say no data found because they're pulling off all the data from the some of the satellite data, some of the data that's down here on the planet, so that, because there's so many, of our benevolent space family out there helping us right now. Okay, so anyways, that's another resource, the NOAA website. It's a .gov, and because all the guys that run the shipping lanes and stuff, they have to track space weather. They have to know what's going on. So, and I think that's where we have to know what's going on too. Okay, I'm just a suggestion. Moving on, tests of 250 bottles from 11 bottled water brands revealed microplastics in 93% of the samples, with an average of 325 particles per 34 fluid ounces, 1 liter of water. We humans have produced an estimated 9 billion tons of plastic. 9 billion tons of plastic. Plastic is the most common form of garbage found in the world's oceans, and microplastics are so small that they can evade methods of collecting or filtering plastic trash. Studies have shown that microplastics are present in nearly every environment on Gaia and can be found in the intestinal tracts of many types of seabirds and marine life, a lot, according to NOAA. Okay, so there's some studies out there showing him in just so much microplastics in humans too. But anyways, we're moving on. Microplastics are not a specific kind of plastic, but rather any type of plastic fragment that is less than 5 millimeters in length, according to NOAA. They enter natural ecosystems from a variety of sources, including clothing and cosmetics and industrial processes. Think of acrylic carpeting, curtains. Think of how much plastic a car is made out of. Our toothbrush, that's why I'm always riding the bike. I'm just, just to toot my horn, pun, toot, toot, old 80s 10-speed. I'm riding it all the time. I know there's plastic on it. I mean, there's rubber tires and stuff. But still, I'm trying to do that without putting the emissions, the polycyclic hydrocarbons out into the... Anyways, all right. Enough of that tooting. Where were we? Acrylic carbonate. Oh, your toothbrush is made from a polymer from oil. Unless you have a bamboo one. Oh, I do. It's kind of weird on your teeth, though. You got to get used to it. The point is, polymers and phthalates are getting into everything. This is a global, ecosystemic, epigenetic health issue. Can't stress that enough, man. Okay? So, you're saying, what can we do, tribe? Well, I'm going to tell you. Okay. We are all involved and a part of the agro-petro-economic structure, which is changing as I write this, because we're growing industrial hemp in America again. And I don't think people really realize how much of an economic impact it is going to be by growing that industrial hemp. You can use it, you can use the oils, you can use it to make things. We're going to be able to put those into 3D printers, right, and make stuff out of it, and it's biodegradable. Do you see what's happening? It's going to change a lot of things. I mean, basically, it's like, I'll say it, it's like flipping off the royal, the 12 families or the 12 corporations, the ones that own all the, the Saudi families and all the oil, and Venezuela oil, and that's why that country was so weird, and corrupted, because it's a resource. Okay? So all that's changing right now. I mean, my suggestion is to be optimistic, because there's a lot of hidden, good-hearted things going on right now around the planet. I mean, you don't have to trust me, but, oh, even the Hedera hashtag thing, that's going on, right? That's going to change everything too. So look into that. That's beyond the blockchain. That's like smart contracts, and then there's a currency, the Hedera, or whatever it's called, the H currency or whatever. But anyways, that's be able to pay. But it's all decentralized. Sure, I can't believe I'm doing this. Maybe we'll make this a two-parter. But sure, that the companies that invested in it, and you're thinking, well, all these companies like Boeing and stuff is invested in it. Well, it doesn't matter if they invest in this and they own part of like a stock of the Hedera, right? But we're individually, it's going to be just peer-to-peer, and everything's transparent. So it's actually a good thing. So if these companies are actually a part of it, their books, their ledgers, right? Ledgers over here, they're not going to make the double one, the corrupt ones. You know, the corrupt companies can't make the double ledgers anymore if they change over to do more of the Hedera, because that ledger's transparency. Everybody's going to be able to read it and stuff. So they're not going to have one for here and then one for the CEO where he takes all of our money, you know, takes all the money. So it's going to be a transparency thing. It's going to be like a, you know, a truth. You know, so it's not going to be as hidden. So anyways, that's going on too. Okay, so a lot of info, right, man? We're going to keep rolling on this though. Where were we? We're all a part of it. Yeah, because you can't put the blame on anything, because you're a part of it. You're buying stuff. You're driving your car. You're buying stuff. Your carpet's probably, you know, everything that we do. I mean, you know, that phone's got plastic on it that I'm taping this on. The plastic on the stand. So you realize to take this into consideration, that you realize that you're a part of it, and to take all these little baby steps to kind of start thinking about, and how do I get away? Do I take that cloth bag to the grocery store, you know, today, just to be more consciously aware of things, right? Okay. Plant-based, biodegradable, unlimited products. Yeah. So the hemp thing I went off, and then that led me. Okay. 2 classifications of microplastics currently exist. Primary microplastics are any plastic fragments or particles that are already 5.0 mm in millimeters in size or less before entering the environment. These include microfibers from clothing, microbeads, and plastic pellets. Secondary microplastics, are microplastics that are created from the degradation of larger plastic products once they enter the environment through natural weathering processes. Such sources of secondary microplastics include water and soda bottles, fishing nets, and plastic bags. Both types are recognized to persist in the environment at high levels, particularly in aquatic and marine ecosystems, right? Okay, let us consider some of these things that we can do to avoid or live with less microplastics and phthalates. Okay, so 1, please check all the toys. Here it is. Please check all the toys you buy for your children or have already bought. The Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act of 2008, the CPSIA, has prohibited more than 0.1% of the 8 phthalates from appearing in children's toys that can be placed in a child's mouth and child care articles. The CSPIA defines children's toys as products designed or intended for play by children under 12 years old or younger. Child care articles are products designed to facilitate sleep or feeding of children aged 3 years old or younger, or to help children with sucking or feeding. Anyways, there is a law now, but I think it's all the toys that are the children that are under 5 or something like that, right? Where the companies can't use the phthalates to amalgamate and mold their plastics and stuff and use that on there. It's just the same. All of these things to me, I always compare it to like, oh wow, that was like asbestos back in the day. And I've been saying that about oil and oil in the pavement, you know, cars running on it and stuff. All these things that are highly toxic to our avatar, to our temple, to our vessel, our overall biofilled physiology, our connection to Gaia, which is a planet, which is out here in a solar system, which is in a galaxy, which is connected to a cosmic rhythm. Okay. To read the labels on all your vitamins and supplements, make sure the plant-derived capsules are coatings. Okay, I do that. All right, invest in a usable glass 3 or whatever. I'm just going to read. Reusable glass or stainless steel water bottle like the one I have on the bicycle. You know, I have like 3 of these, you know, and every time, you know, I just get one of these and then I fill it up with my water and I put structured water in here, of course. I put the chlorophyll, and then I put a little bit of trace minerals because I get the Lithia water from Ashland, and I put a little bit of that in there too. And it gives it a bunch of extra minerals, like trace minerals, right? And then it's been outside too. So anyways, okay, where were we? Man, I always make these too long. On the one on the bicycle, yeah. Okay, what was the thing here? People around the world buy 1 million plastic bottles every minute. Whoa, check that out. In the United States, more than 60 million end up in landfills and incinerators every day. 60 million plastic bottles every day. Opt for the cloth rather than the disposable diapers. Americans discard some 20 billion plastic diapers annually. 20 billion diapers. And I mean, this isn't funny stuff, but you know, it's crazy. So please consider using the cloth stuff. I know it's more work and everything, but just to bring up, you don't have to do all of these. Just to raise your conscious awareness. Raise your conscious awareness about environmental issues and why it's an environmental issue on you know, being in a more natural state and environment so that you can have a better cognitive ability, so you can have better discernment, so you can listen to your higher frequency self. That's what all the indigenous tribes did. That's what the Native Americans did, right? They had time in nature to listen, to actually have some kind of wisdom, okay? That's what we're trying to get to. That's what the meditation out in nature is for. That's what the holistic tool of that, of taking your shoes off and meditating in your backyard or wherever, out in a park or where, you know, you make a sacred space in your house. Okay, moving on. Bring your favorite mug or travel container to the coffee shop for filling up. I make my own alternative cold coffee with immune boosters and put it into that GT's, because it's a glass bottle, kombucha bottle, and take it with me. Okay, stock up on reusable grocery bags. I have about 9 or 10 now with my father and I use. Americans use and discard some 102 billion plastic bags annually. Which of these can take 1,000 years to degrade? So there's the hemp thing. We're growing the hemp, right? And we're going to start making that plant-based polymers out of these that are probably going to biodegradable in a landfill probably within years, right? Okay, so let's pass on prepared foods. The packaging is mostly plastic or cardboard coated with plastic. Don't chew regular gum, chewing gum. It's pretty much made of plastic. Use matches instead of disposable plastic lighters or invest in a refillable metal lighter. Avoid plastic wrap to cover leftover cheese, leftovers, refrigerated. Use a dishcloth or parchment paper. I think a friend of mine has just the glassware, Tupperware or whatever. Just use like 3. They only have like 3 of them, and they use those. Anyways, okay. Cook with a cast iron instead of the non-stick pans. Teflon, the most common non-stick surface, is a fluoropolymer plastic that gets up and then it puts those kind of pans, you know, you got to really look into that, look a little deeper into that stuff because that gets into your system. That gets into your down into your guts and your colon and everything, you know? That runs in. Okay. It's a lot. Got that. Make your own cleaning products. They're less toxic, and you can reuse your spray bottles like I do. Eliminated the need for multi-plastic bottles and cleaners. Eco-friendly, biodegradable ones that don't have the parabens, the phosphates, and phthalates free, and definitely animal-free testing products. Okay, just these are all suggestions. Decline plastic flatware with your takeout orders. I have 2 sets of bamboo flatware that I reuse over and over in my sling pack usually. I just had one. I have them at home right now because I washed them. Buy food in bulk when you can. It's less plastic stuff. Bring your containers for vegetables and fruits to the farmers markets. Yeah, that's a good one. Usually just throw some stuff in there. Pack your lunch with renewable containers and bags. Skip foods that are packaged in single-serving plastic cups. Mix up your own hand salves, lotion bars, and deodorants if you can. You know, it's kind of try to think about what homesteaders do. You know, they're trying to live off the grid a little bit more. They're trying to make their own foods. They're eating really more healthy because they have gardens. You know, just think about what they do. Okay, buying personal care products sold in plastic containers. Raw, unrefined virgin coconut oil is a great base for all of those if you want to make your own lotions and soaps and deodorants and hand salves and stuff. Plus, you can eat it. Replace your Tupperware with a set of reusable glass storage containers for leftovers. Said that. Compost your food waste to reduce the number of plastic bags needed to haul it to the landfill. Pick up some biodegradable plant-based storage bags and reuse them like I do. I always have a few in my sling pack. I have like a large one and a couple of small ones. Those I think they're made out of like corn or something like that. And I always bring those with me because, you know me, I'm on the bicycle. Oh, here I say it. You know me. I like to forage for wild foods when I'm out commuting on my bicycle. One of the many reasons I commute on a bicycle. You can't do that from inside a car. Just saying. All right. So I just wanted to go over that information. Do your own research, of course. Stay hydrated with structured water. We are getting, we're going to have some more photonic waves now that I think they've gotten established a lot more of the computer things around the world because they're circumnavigating the, you know, the regular banking, the central banks, you know, the Rothschilds and the other families. You know, you can go deep into those rabbit holes too. Anyways, so we're after this fall equinox. I mean, yesterday, right? There was like a really nice chunk, a nice size one for a good, you know. It plays havoc, but I did the meditation and I kind of rested a lot yesterday, knowing like when I kind of came home a little bit after it was going on, or maybe during, you know, last night after doing some stuff, and I pretty much just got into bed. I mean, I started resting. I did a couple of, I made my own, you know, my raw apple cider vinegar drink that I make with the turmeric and all that stuff, right? I've talked about it. And I sipped on that all night and kind of just laid low. I don't even think I worked on anything, hardly. I think I just watched a couple of sci-fi shows and read and went to bed. Okay, so with that said, yes, let's end there.